fight, you guys. You know, a lot of long exchanges, too.
Yeah.
This is me. This is a sword. This is me hitting that guy with a sword. Why? Let me explain. This is what's called HEMA, or Historical European Martial Arts. Martial arts are a top form of fighting, although Asia has given martial arts a more spiritual definition nowadays. It's also called fencing, which has been put under a different light as well. But also just means a type of fighting with the intention of protecting you, too, and comes from the Latin word defensa, which means protection. Another thing that differs HEMA from most other martial arts is the heavy use of treatises and manuscripts. The oldest one that was ever found was a sword and buckler manuscript from around the 1320s. Which means anything before that, like Roman fighting tactics, are not well known, and mostly based around academic speculation. Most fighting styles are from Italian master Fiore di Libri, and German ones such as Ringeck and Lichtenauer, while less known manuscripts are from France, Spain, and England. The most popular weapon in HEMA is the longsword, which is a 45 to 55 inch sword with two edges, a long handle for two hands, and a guard. Unlike how most movies and games depict them, longswords are not heavy, being able to move at lightning speeds. Longswords weren't used for very long either, only from the 1300s to the 1500s, although they were believed to be used in the 1100s. Despite the popularity, it isn't the only one. Rapiers, messer, cutlass, polearms, any weapon from the early medieval period to the bayoneting tactics of World War II count as a historical martial art. But one might ask, where did this start? What is the history? The study of older European martial arts started from a man in the 4th Royal Irish Dragoon Corps, historian, writer, and antiquarian Alfred Hudden. When he came back from India in 1865, he opened an 18th century backsword fencing school and wrote a book, Cold Steel, Practical Treatise on the Saber, which is still used today. His legacy was dormant for a long time when he died in 1910. But with more transcripts being discovered and a sudden resurgence since the mid-1990s, places like these appeared all over Europe and North America, where this sport is taught to anyone eager enough to join. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I am Aaron Shober. I'm the owner and head instructor at Sword Carolina here in South Carolina, Greenville area. I've been doing HEMA for about 12 years now. We have a number of classes, like we're full-time HEMA school. We have 5 classes a week that we run here. I also have a little homestead that I run here where we raise our own meat and starting to raise our own vegetables. So yeah, they pretty much play with swords and animals all day.
All right. How did you find out about HEMA?
I actually stumbled upon it, like I said, about 12 years ago when my son Chris wanted to have a birthday party with knights. We would have knights and dragons and stuff. So I was like, okay. So I wanted to have toys for them to play with, but I didn't want to buy toy swords. So I was like, all right, I'll go on YouTube, find out how to make some boffers. And so I found instructions on that, but then I also found videos of people fighting. And some of the videos were very different than the others. The people looked like they knew what they were doing. So like, all right, what's going on here? And realized that these were people that were doing HEMA, although the name hadn't been decided on them. I think they were calling it Western martial arts or something similar. And it's like, wait, there's people that have actually gone back and found the how-to books and are translating them and are actually practicing them. So like, all right, that's definitely what I want to do. And jumped into it from there.
HEMA has a more important role than just combat history, though. It is also taught making an individual physically and mentally fit. Through the practice of HEMA, I have become stronger than I was before. I have improved my stamina and my ability to work with heavy implements for a longer period of time. I get up more often, I have lost fat and gained muscle, and I have become a better specimen of physicality. Keith Farrell. But most importantly, it helps your social health. By sparring with people with similar likes and thoughts, you can feel more at home and live a more happy and energetic lifestyle. However, just because it's healthy for you, that does not mean it's the safest. Would you consider HEMA dangerous?
It is inherently dangerous, but so is every sport. Every martial art, every sport, HEMA is both. Every one of those is dangerous. One thing that HEMA has going for it is that because we're using weapons it's obviously dangerous. So for most people, and I wish it was for everybody, but for most people, that does make them act more carefully around it. It is dangerous in that minor injuries like bumps and bruises are pretty common. Major injuries like broken bones are very rare if you have good safety protocols like we do. But they're always a possibility. But like I said, like just like it is in basketball, just like it is in cheerleading, just like it is in football. So,
what are some of the ways that you take to make HEMA less dangerous?
To make it less dangerous?
Yeah.
I try to be really careful when it comes to safety. If we're doing anything that I think someone could get hit in the face, we almost always have masks on, gloves on for the fingers. When we're sparring, it's a lot more gear, so I'm already kitted up here because I've been fighting and I'm going to go back in after this. The main thing, a couple main things. First of all, I don't let people do stuff they're not ready for, or I try not to, right? We try to have self-control. Do you know where your weapon is? Do you know where your sword is? And also, we do a lot to actually pull our punches, so to speak. When we're sparring, we don't hit each other as hard as we can. It's very easy to swing a sword hard. It's very easy. Like, just show you a little mechanics. You get your body weight behind it. You can break someone's bones fairly easily. So at least in the way that we approach it, I want to demonstrate my command of the art by tapping you. I'm going to hit you, but I'm going to hit you lightly. That's just a culture that we've developed here. That's probably the biggest thing, is developing a culture of safety. That would be probably the best thing that you could do to limit the amount of injuries that you're going to see.
HEMA is dangerous, but it is controlled, with slower drills, armor, and even making synthetic swords, or using a blunt metal sword that is flexible so thrusts are less dangerous. However, there is one recorded group in Germany that used sharpened swords in HEMA without armor, and 2 have died already. Well, there is this one group in Germany that use sharp swords.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I've heard of these guys. I refuse to watch anything that they put out. That's just idiotic. The one thing that I have heard from HEMA guys that I know is, thank God they don't know what they're doing, otherwise they'd be dead. But then it kind of goes like, if they did know what they were doing, they wouldn't be doing that in the first place. Yeah, if I cut someone with a sharp sword, that person's dead. And if someone that practices HEMA cuts me with a sharp sword or thrusts me with a sharp sword, I am dead, or I am doing very poorly. So it makes no sense to me. I think it's stupid. I think probably some of it is just a promotional thing to make themselves feel cool. It's sad, really.
All in all, the community is small, fairly recent, and friendly. A good site for this is called the HEMA Alliance, where you can look on a map for nearby clubs. I should know the hospitality of these people because I joined knowing near nothing, and I have learned more than I could ever imagine.
To limit the amount of injuries that you're going to see. So.
And would you recommend HEMA to anyone watching?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, if anyone has the remotest interest in this, I would recommend getting on and trying it. If you can find someone nearby to try it out, go to school. I don't know of any school that's going to turn you down for a free look. I know we definitely would if you're in the South Carolina, upstate South Carolina area. We like people to come out and try it out. There's lots of stuff online you can go to. There's a ton of videos on YouTube. Some are better than others. Some are older, some are newer, but there's just a lot of information out there. It's a great place to deep dive down on if you want to get into study or if you want to actually practice it. So it's very worthwhile pursuit.
This video was made possible by Aaron Shober and the people at Sword Carolina. Thank you for allowing me to interview you and using your pictures and videos.